Hello everybody, konnichiwa. Did you enjoy my last video about Japanese tiger? I am so happy to see your interest and support for my channel. Thank you for waiting for my new video. I got so many more new subscribers, which gives me a lot of motivation to share my culture, philosophy, and history. When we talk about Japan and its history, there is one particular figure that we can't ignore: the samurai. What is a samurai? Historic fact? Or a mythical figure like dragon? Are they unbeatable heroes from comic books? The ancient Avengers? What is so special about samurai? Is there one samurai? Or many facets? Are they the good or the bad guys? When you watch this video until the end, you will know what is samurai, I promise. Samurai. To get to know samurai, we need to approach through history books. Don't worry, I'm not a historian. I will try to explain as simple and interesting as I can. Samurai existed. Yes, they did exist over hundreds of years. So we need to see 4 different historic phases. Beginning of samurai class. In ancient times, all the land in Japan belonged to the state. But in 743, our Emperor Shomu declared that all land newly cultivated by any individual then belongs to this person. Konden ene shizai no ho basically said the land where you start growing food is yours. A big step for our society. Of course, the powerful noblemen found the best fields and developed them. But also simple people suddenly owned something worth defending. Quickly, they all saw the need to protect their own land. They hired neighborhood security guards, professional armed men. They were called bushi, and later on samurai. They were not noble people, but just poor farmers who learned how to protect and fight. The word samurai originally comes from saburao, to serve. They were paid guards basically. The age of empowerment. The nobles of the imperial court belittled the bushi. You are just farmers of the lowest class. But actually, we need you to fight for us. In 1156 AD, there was a power struggle within the imperial court, fought between the emperor and the retired emperor, and suddenly they needed them to fight their battles for the throne. The samurai had formed clans during this time, and the Minamoto and Taira were the most prominent among them. We Japanese know the story how they fought each other. The role of the samurai was empowered because they were needed to fight the struggle of nobles, and some of them became more involved in politics themselves. Sengoku. During the dog-eat-dog era, Japan was in almost constant civil war. Political intrigue was the game of the upper class, while commoners fought for their own survival and at least some rights. Being a warrior, or being able to pay one, became necessary, and whoever wanted to become a samurai had the chance to become one. Pick up the sword and fight. The definition of samurai was changed in this period. Samurai were no longer security who is serving to emperor, the nobility, or the shogun. Anyone brave enough, regardless of class, farmers, merchants, many became samurai. We have many heroic stories of men who reached up and became famous through bravery. Saito Dozan, an oil merchant turned lord of a castle. Or Toyotomi Hideyoshi, a farmer who turned warlord who eventually unified our country. Low-born people that moved their history with their own power. This changed the very definition of samurai. Edo era followed this chaos, and it became the time that really shaped Japan. Samurai in this period had high rank after all this great merit in the past. They fought risking their lives and brought peace across the land. They received admiration and high position in return. But ironically enough, Suffering was resulted from it in the end. The famous shogun of Tokugawa clan controlled samurai and farmers tightly, and they brought peace to the people with their firm hand. Peaceful time means no war. No war means nothing to do for samurai. No one to defend, no battle. Boring. Tokugawa shoguns were clever. They saw that samurai were too powerful now. Better keep them not too rich, nor strong. In order to control them, they made many rules for samurai. Lots of obligations and tasks from government, forcing them to spend time and money for traditions and rituals. But not too much income without war. According to the record, it was normal to work only a few hours in the morning and take 2 days off. Sounds like a dream? For high-class samurai? Yes, because not all samurai were the same. Some had enough money and time as well. So they trained their military art, academic study, find some hobbies, and enjoy their lives with many wives and lovers of all kinds. We know many stories about this too. But it was quite hard for those many lower-class samurai. They lived super humbly and had to do some part-time job even. To give you an idea, it is said that the population in Japan in Edo time was about 30 million, and samurai was about 7%, means less than 2 million. Do you think this is a lot? There is a saying, 武士は食わねど高用事, means a samurai shows a toothpick high stick out of his mouth even when they don't have anything to eat. Samurai of this time were people who put pride and honor above anything else, and they never showed their weakness, even when the situation is difficult. Even though there were a lot of richer merchants around, and samurai's wallet got thinner, they still had to keep pretending that they had plenty to show. End of samurai. Long and powerful rule of Tokugawa shoguns also changed the meaning of samurai. Working hard at fighting skills and military arts to become strongest fighters was less important, but personal loyalty and ethics became center of definition of samurai. Long end period came to an end, and the new era, the Meiji, had started. And everything in Japan changed again. In the middle of 19th century, England, Russia, and America came to Japan looking for trade and influence. They put a lot of pressure on Japan and divided the country in two factions. One part wanted to fight against foreign pressure by supporting emperor. The other one favored to open up and accept change. This is very interesting time of the Japanese history, but it'd be super long, so let me make it short. New government wanted to modernize the country, so they established centralized government for the first time since 8th century. Feudal land ownership was abolished and replaced by system of prefectures. Radical reform. All feudal lords were required to return their authority to the Emperor Meiji and his administration. Also, the sword abolishment edict was issued and a conscription army founded, which means the government took the power and the symbol of samurai away. All their privilege was gone along with the katana. Samurai looked and felt devastated and miserable without sword, land, and privilege. They don't know how to make living. They are so bad at business. Merchants started to look down on them. Frustration was growing, and it brought along the last war of samurai in 1877. Hollywood movie Last Samurai from Tom Cruise is modeled after this period. For the first time, they fought for themselves, and it was the last civil war in Japan. Not for the emperor, not for their clan, but for their own dignity. However, Meiji government had strong support, which was technology from Industrial Revolution. Guns against walls, a war as mismatched as possible. Of course, they lost their last battle, and it was the end of samurai. They were not even allowed to die with the honor of samurai, but many of them were just butchered like a common criminal. They started as poor farmers, and 1,000 years later, they ended with nothing to their name again. Only later on, the samurai honor and the ethic was recognized, admired, and glamorized. You all hear the name of the famous book and the samurai code it contains, Bushido. I went through 1,000-year history of samurai in about 10 minutes. It was more about big structure of history, but without knowing this, it's hard to understand samurai and its spirit in depth. Oh, and I know what you want to ask me now. Was there a female samurai like Jeanne d'Arc? Actually, yes. Throughout the history of samurai, there were female samurai time to time. Not only one, more than you would imagine. I can't wait to talk about individual samurai and their interesting stories, such as samurai spirit, Bushido, Harakiri, and more. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much for watching today, and I am very much looking forward to see you next time. 最初はグー、じゃんけんぽん。バイ、またね。